to Ireland AM. Our next guest is a decorated rugby star, broadcaster, author, and Tommy's go-to sidekick when myself and Alan aren't around to help keep him company, and he is on my side.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
Donncha O'Callaghan here to talk family, fatherhood, and everything else. Donna's great to see you.
Yeah, likewise. Thanks for having me
Donncha, can
on.
we let the people know who the real Tommy Bowe is? Oh, he's such a nice guy. All he wants to do is eat food.
Where are you sitting on the landlord discussion we just had?
I seen you going at it, and I was there. I'm not getting in between that. Vern, I do have to thank him. I have a Grand Slam medal as a result of him. So, as annoying as he can be...
I don't have a Grand Slam medal because of him.
Do you know what the killer was as well? Like, we're having a conversation, or a discussion, or and you just pulled out the nurses, and you can't argue with the nurses.
No, you can't. As soon as you pull out the nurses, everyone steps back. You're there, whoa, Tommy, move away from that
Stop
one.
it. Don't do it. Don't do
Listen,
it. Don't
you're
do it.
well used to me trying to stir the pot.
Yeah,
So
exactly. And
all
I
about
enjoy it when you go at it. And you're good for keeping him in line. We used to have to put someone in charge of keeping an eye on Tommy. Normally it was someone a little bit more intimidating than you, someone like Paul O'Connell or someone like that.
Yeah, that would be good,
You need to actually make him fearful for his safety.
Okay.
Very similar they are, yeah, exactly.
Limerick has got it going through the O'Connell name, you know, we know what we're doing.
There you go.
Similar.
Paul gives me all texts every once in a while going, come here to me, sort this out here. Now, I was lucky enough there just a little while ago to go to your live. It's not going to be all about the two boys, but to go to your first, the Offloads live podcast show that you did in the Olympia. And it was an utter joy, because neither of you take anything seriously whatsoever. Like when you have to talk about rugby for 5 minutes and the rest of it is just messing. It's great fun.
Yeah, that's true. We were a nervous wreck that night. Tommy's used to doing this, but I think stepping out in front of a live audience and actually even when you crack a joke, hearing the ripple of it coming back was quite daunting.
The two of us talking rugby is easy, but actually we were trying to be funny on it. And then we had to go put on the old jerseys again to try and, for the second half, we thought we'd put on the old school jerseys again.
Here we go.
Some of it fitted better than others, so I would have thought.
Yeah. I got a message from Alistair Campbell. Look at me name dropping with all my friends. But Alistair Campbell texted me and said, great to see you back in the gear, and Tommy looks like he could still play. You know what I mean? I was there, that's it. That's a vicious dig. So,
that was harsh. How was the after party?
It was mild enough, to be fair,
Well, you were in the middle of it. What are you talking about? She was on the show the next morning.
I was just about to say, you were the only one that benefited from it. Two of us were gone home.
Exactly. I mean, we took the day off the next day, and Warren O'Connell there till the bitter end.
Good on you.
Kept on going.
Tell us about, obviously, your old pals as well, Doireann and Carl. Doireann got married in the summertime. Listen, you're always playing pranks. What was it you did to poor Carl? Did he have a speech to make or something?
No, basically, as we would do, you would make little kind of side bets within certain things. So Carl was given a prayer of the faithful at Doireann's wedding, and we had a little bet to see how long he could leave the pause between Lord graciously hear us. And, and we were saying maybe 3 seconds would do it perfectly, but Carl managed to honestly stretch it out to 7 seconds. I knew the joke, honestly, Tommy. You know, I'm good in those moments. My hands were sweating. I was there like, everyone just thought he froze. And actually, Doireann was starting to cough to kind of get him moving. And it was
was she in on it?
No, she hadn't a clue. God
and
love
this
her,
is in the mass?
In the middle of the mass, yeah.
So he's done the bit where he's prayed for the nurses, obviously, and then you're waiting.
Lord hear us.
Yeah, 7 seconds. You know, you can't go silent.
That's incredible.
For 7 seconds.
That is incredible.
It was.
That is really,
I love
really
the
good.
shock and people looking around. Is he actually just... Is he all right?
Now, you are working at the minute. You are, because you do so much with your kids. I love that. I love your board game nights and everything that you have going on there. You're getting kids cooking?
Yeah, well, like all parents, you want to kind of keep an eye on stuff. And to be fair, it's not me, it's Tesco Ireland. They've commissioned a brilliant programme that's going to run out in national schools for 6 weeks. So basically, it's going to involve over 3,000 kids around the country, and it's going to be in 42 primary schools, which is great.
Wow.
And it's just giving them the love for cooking. I think we're all used to learning within our classrooms, but if you can use the kitchen as well to probably help your kids out, and then it's small little messages, healthy eating, budgeting, and then something that he would love. It all comes to a head.
Sweets.
You're brought to Tesco on the last day and sent out, and you a few tasks, budget a meal.
Do the shop as well.
Do the shop, yeah, and you get a few samples, Tommy, you'd be happy.
Is it something that you do with the kids? Because you were fairly professional as a player. You were very strict with your diet ahead of matches and stuff. Have you continued that? Do you try to put, like, that same kind of those messages out to the kids too?
Yeah, I think it's important, Tommy. If you know it as well. We've been really privileged that we got an education on how to eat healthy, but 50% of parents feel, this is in Tesco's report, they wouldn't feel their kid could make a meal from scratch. And I think, that's everyone's kind of responsibility.
You could make a meal from scratch?
Wouldn't have a clue.
No way.
No, I wouldn't have a clue. I look into a fridge and
So is it only primary schools or television shows as well?
You're more than welcome to fall in with the 5th class. So now it is 3001. You're not allowed to bring him into the shop.
Okay. Well, she's trying to set me up for a cookery segment on the show.
I do want him to have to do it because he gives people such a hard time. I want him to have to cook a meal in 6 minutes. So we're going to have that over the summer, definitely.
Yeah, it would be outstanding.
I think he'd be good.
But your kids, like, what are they like?
Yeah, they're good. Baking's a big thing in our house, but maybe like that, making a meal from scratch is probably something we'd probably get better at.
Yeah.
You know, in terms of everyone loves kind of pizza nights and different things like that, but trying to find a way. Look at the O'Callaghan's, there we go. Jake's communion. So yeah.
Oh, was that at the weekend?
No, it wasn't. It's a year on. He's still waiting on a card from you, Tommy. No surprise.
And he only asked it. We decided on 20 quid in the card.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, it's not 20 quid from that. 20 quid. We're giving away more than that. You're showing me some tight arse on television this morning, Warren. Come on.
How is it? Because that looked like Peter O'Mahony had done a beautiful hydrangea behind you in that gorgeous picture.
Yeah, that's my father-in-law. I do nothing in the garden.
Nothing in the garden.
I wish I would.
Oh, because it's Jenny's parents' old house.
Yeah, we moved back into
the
Jenny's
house.
Parents'
so
house,
he still does the garden,
does he? He does the garden. And
Come on.
And then he plants stuff, Tommy. So he started to plant a few things, and he'll give me a phone call saying, you need to water this and feed it, and I have to FaceTime him because I don't know the plants he's on about. Is it this one? That's a weed.
What? Does he cut the lawn or do you cut the lawn?
He cuts the lawn.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. Well, sorry, he loves cutting the lawn. Honestly, it's like therapy for him. I wouldn't take it away from him. I'm not shy of work, if you know what I mean, but he goes there and for 40 minutes he zones out, whereas I'm throwing footballs and hurleys off the thing going, get this done as quickly as possible.
He's so philanthropic. I'm doing it for his mental health. I'm doing it for him.
Papa.
That's it. I know it.
Listen, we've been teeing it up the whole story with Hugh Jackman all morning about a lot of people retire, they kind of get a message like their body's given up. But you were 39, playing over in Worcester, still going strong.
It was like the last 15 minutes of Marley and me. Everyone was there. It's over. Blow it up.
He kept on going.
Finish this out.
Well, Marley and me is one where the tears come as well, but nobody really cries in The Greatest Showman, do they?
Yeah, well, it brought me to tears.
Yeah.
So, Mern, I was living in England. Jenny had come home with the kids because we just missed the network at home, the support structure around it, and I was gone for the best part of the day. So I used to hang around with an awful lot of the academy lads who were really young, and also my teammate Matt Cox. I used to live with him. So our day was pretty much training, bowling, and going to the cinema.
Life as a professional athlete.
Yeah.
I had one of these cinema passes, so you get to see every movie that comes out. But we went in to watch The Greatest Showman. It was a week before we played Bath, and we were in a relegation battle. It was on. But we watched The Greatest Showman, and when he started singing, from now on, I was there like this. Start to behave, sir. Are you all right? Because you know what I mean? What's going on? He said, are you all right? I'm done. He was like, we have bad at the weekend. Get your...
But that is, like, that whole song is about from now on, I'm spending time with the kids and family. And there's you and Worcester.
He even runs out of the place, man. He's like you when he leaves. Here's me on to Jenny. I'm done. Mar next Saturday.
Yeah, I'm waiting till the end of the movie, though.
How did Bath do?
Yeah.
How did you do against Bath?
We won.
You won?
Yeah, we won, thankfully, and stayed up. Yeah,
it was all in there.
It was all worthwhile.
Fair play to you. Listen, I have to ask quickly, the Sevens, we didn't discuss that in the podcast last weekend.
Week.
The IRFU are getting rid of the Sevens. Might as well give it a rugby chat. What do you make of that?
Yeah, obviously you're disappointed for the lads that have gone before in that programme, but
Come on now, tell us what you really think.
He's a greater tie to sevens than me because you could play it and I couldn't. I do think, though, what we're seeing, and we're chatting about it week in, week out, finances in rugby are really, really tight. And you can see why they're looking at areas that they can tighten up. Even in Wales this morning, they're chatting about bringing back to 3 teams. My own team that we were chatting about, Worcester, they're only coming back in as a team. So
if only we're all Leinster, eh?
Save it for the pod. Save it for the pod.
No, you're here now. You're here now.
Yeah.
What did you make of everything? Obviously, there's an awful lot about wages have been coming out, talking about Leinster wages, talking about the players that they have brought in as ringers for the last while. What do you make of what's happened?
I'll be honest, there's been they're prioritising probably an awful lot of those players. We had central contracts, but an awful lot of other teams had them. Now they're in one central spot. And look, you can understand it. Like, you look at the Welsh Union at the moment, they've acquired Cardiff. So you wonder, are they looking at all these big populated areas that they can, tend to look after? But for me, it would be disappointing because rugby is about grassroots. Like, if you looked at, look at the Gaelic grounds yesterday. Yeah. Look at Thurles the day before. There's what we got to keep. You know what I mean? That's what
the community of it.
100%.
It's so important.
Absolutely. And sometimes, actually, when you do talk about the amount of money, the money gets put, for the Sevens programme, where a lot of people from Gaelic football and other sports could play, it is gone now.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a big worry within the game.
But ye are grassroots players yourselves. Like, that's, you came up through the school system, all played different sports. You played GA, you did all that. And of course, Paulie, your mate, Paulie O'Connell, he's taken on the top job for Ireland.
He is,
this summer over in, it'll be very hard being in Portugal for a few weeks, isn't it?
And Georgia.
It would for him. He honestly goes around with like factor 50. He's there like this putting it on. Not a chance of him seeing the sun. But no, I'm delighted.
It's a great opportunity. It's amazing.
It is a brilliant opportunity. I love that he's always true to himself, though, because we've heard there was opportunities to go on Lions tours and he feels like he's not ready. Now, to be fair, if he walked into that room, everyone knows he's ready. He's earned the right. But just that he constantly wants to push himself is incredible. But I think it's important for the Irish team as well, because an awful lot of the management are gone. They do need... You need the boss to be around.
And no better man than
Paulie. No better man. Myself, maybe.
Absolutely. Assistant coach, you could be in.
You know what I mean? I've won for this family how many times now? And there's Paulie, assistant coach.
I've won for this family shouting at people doing exercise.
I have to ask you about Davy Fitz is all over the papers today, saying the referees all hate him too.
Go on, Davy, dead right.
So you have to deal with Davy, exactly. Fair play to you dealing with that. Listen, you're here, of course, for Tesco's A Stronger Starts Cooking Initiative. If people want to find out more and get their primary schools involved, check it out at tesco.ie.
Brilliant. Good on you.
Yeah.
Donncha, it's great to see you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here. Such a pleasure. Thanks, Donncha.
I'll take them off your hands in about 10 minutes.
We're mates. We're mates.